Tula is taken into surgery to deal with her rotten teeth, and the sight of her daughter—
Surgery? You gotta get surgery? Y'all had to put her through anesthesia? The disturbing rise of junk food kids.
With Britain in the grips of an obesity epidemic, it's not just the adults who are overweight, with over a third of children in the UK being overweight or obese.
A third? A third of y'all are fat? Yo, that's crazy. It's one thing being obese as a kid, and it's another thing being obese off of British food. Like, how do you possibly become obese off of British food? Gang, I'm not even eating that. I feel like the best place to have a diet is in the UK.
Obese. Now, this does beg the question, who is at fault for these obese children? Well, this is what the TV show Junk Food Kids looked to answer, and it uncovered the ugly truth of denial, excuses, and a lot of fast food.
Shops are to blame, governments are to blame.
Who is to blame for fat, obese kids? I will be honest, it 100% lies on the parents. Now, I would say like 80% the parents, 20% on the kids.
People who make the candy and the sweets, they're to blame.
The parents are to blame for overweight children, but they have to be helped.
Now, the first episode in the series is—
Like, what if the parents are feeding the kid normally and his ass is going in school and eating more plates and not even trying to exercise?
It's pretty hard to watch, as we start in Leeds and meet Tula and her mother Natalie, and despite her looking older, Tula is just 4 years old.
She's about to start school, but it's hard to find a uniform that will fit.
Do you like that skirt?
I do want it, but...
Oh, hell nah. I'm telling you, the first sign of obesity is when you could hear the fatness through the voice. I do want it, but... Yo, bro, when you start becoming a mouth breather, your nostrils is not the only place that you could breathe. That's when you know you're kind of getting big.
I want that.
Yeah, 8 to 9 years.
Despite how young she is, she still needs to wear clothes which are for girls double her age, just because of the size and weight she is. And even then, it's still a bit tight for her.
I think even that might be a push to Lula.
Last couple of years, she's piled loads of weight on.
But I'll have to get a bigger size.
Adults that I know have said that she's fat. It absolutely heart-wrenched me.
One thing I noticed that she's—
We all have eyes, right? At least I like to think so. Shout out to the people that are blind. Nah, but even blind people can feel how fat their kids are. No, what I meant to say was you have to use your critical thinking skills to realize, okay, my child is a little obese. It's time I start giving them healthier eating habits because I know I'm the one controlling their diet.
She said was that she started piling on the weight in the past 2 years, so since she was 2 years old. And Natalie tried to play that off as if it was a mystery as to where it was coming from, when it's clear that Natalie is—
Yeah, like, yes, she was 2 years old. Yeah, she can barely talk nor walk, but yeah, I don't know how she's getting so obese. You should have thought of that before you started giving her 5 gallons of formula milk. The recommended serving size of formula milk is like maybe like 1 cup. Your ass is giving her the whole box, my nigga.
When it's clear that Natalie is just feeding her too much. It's also strange that Natalie laughs when she needs a bigger size, which tells us she's not exactly taking this weight gain seriously, and we soon find out some immediate health issues because of her poor diet.
Being overweight isn't Tallulah's only health problem. She's also suffering from severe tooth decay.
When Tula was born, she never had a dummy. She always had a bottle. So as she got older, it went from formula to cow's milk to juice. Now I know that's my fault, but it was easier for me on a night to give
Wait,
her...
how do you get tooth decay? Because as a kid, I never brushed my teeth, but my teeth never decayed. What are you feeding her for her tooth to decay?
a bottle of juice than to try and sit up with her all night and try and get her back to sleep.
A commenter summed up this section perfectly, saying, "I'm sorry, but a 4-year-old with tooth decay, that's disgusting."
Literally.
I don't know if I'm being harsh, but I completely agree. Going from milk straight to juice, which is just loaded with sugar, and giving that to Tula.
Yo, I love how the producers of this show and the mom knows how wrong it is to feed her, but because they need a good angle, they're still gonna record her eating and drinking food because they know they need footage. You are very obese for your age, but can you eat this cake? We need a good angle. I know they probably paid her, but for you to be cool with the whole internet commenting on your child that's morbidly obese, that takes guts.
At night is just ensuring that her fragile teeth are going to be destroyed. And Natalie's reasoning behind it is even more disgusting in my opinion. Literally saying to the camera that she couldn't be bothered to make a bottle for her baby, and so just gave her fruit juice. The worst part is that Natalie admits she noticed the tooth damage, but carried on doing it anyway, and it's actually causing Tula a lot of pain.
Hold on. Does it matter if she has tooth decay? Okay, now, I don't mean to sound like Einstein, but don't children's teeth fall off anyway? So if it falls off, another one is gonna grow. Unless that's your adult teeth that we should be worrying about.
They've just got worse.
That one hurts me. That one hurts me. That one hurts me. All of them hurt me. At the bottom. At the bottom? I'm still right at the top.
You'd think
Yo, that's actually so sad. And it's like, you can't even really blame the child, especially at that age, because she doesn't know any better. She's just going based off of what her mom is telling her to do. I think her child eating that much is just literally like a byproduct of her being somewhat morbidly obese herself.
after Tula said that her entire mouth is in pain, that Natalie would stop giving her sugar-loaded drinks, but it seems to be the opposite happening, as her convenience is more important than her child's health, and Tula's not only got rotting teeth.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Teeth could be yellow. What teeth don't do is turn black instantly. No, that's crazy. No, what are you feeding her for her teeth to turn black? Because I'm pretty sure even as a kid, if you don't brush your teeth, I don't think it turns out black.
Also piling on the pounds. The average 4-year-old needs 1,200 to 1,400 calories a day, and that 500ml bottle of Ribena she was drinking has around 200 calories and 50 grams of sugar, and it isn't exactly going to keep her full. And Natalie once again shows her denial, as she denies that Tallulah's diet is making her so heavy.
Sweets, chocolates, sugary drinks, it's those diets which are linked to decay, not good diets. It's the bad diet that causes dental decay.
Yo, hot take, I'm not even a big fan of sweets like that. Like, don't get me wrong, every once in a blue moon, I'll do it just because it's there, but you won't see me go out of my way to buy sweets. If someone bought it, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, bro, let me get some. But other than that, I'm not spending my own money to really buy them shits. Once every blue moon, I'd rather much eat fruits.
Here. Rigor.
You giving them a whole rotisserie chicken? What did you do it? Yo, he is like 1 year old. Maybe I don't understand regular portion sizes, but that doesn't look like what a 1-year-old should be eating.
Right there.
It's one of my favourite dinners.
I cannot see a problem with everything that I can.
What is that? Beans, potato, and tuna? How is your child even big eating these mid-ass eats? And what is that, mac and cheese and what looks like strawberry jam? Some delicacies in the UK is just like, yo bro, I'm gonna give you a sense of protein, just add whatever you want to it. You know what, maybe I gotta try it. Don't knock it till you try it, I guess.
But I honestly do not believe she's put all this weight on just through what she eats.
Once again, taking the
Okay, so where else is she gaining the weight from? Because I'm pretty sure 99% of the time she's in your custody.
out of any accountability, she tells the camera crew what she really thinks the true cause of her weight gain is.
Thyroid. She said it might be something to do with that.
But while Natalie gives excuses and continues to overfeed Tula has been sent to the hospital as the pain in her mouth has become unbearable. However, before they even get there, Natalie showcases her awful attitude towards Tallulah's health, as she can't even be bothered to make sure she gets to the dentist on time.
Today, Natalie has to take Tula to see the hygienist. It's an appointment they have to attend before the hospital will see Tula. But it starts in 10 minutes, and it's 8 miles away.
Tula!
That's the top!
Tula! Oh. Brilliant. So it means I'm gonna be late. So... Oh, this is not working out well at all.
Instead of still going to the appointment,
Is it really that deep, bro? Why are y'all demonizing her for being a little late? It happens to the best of us. Oh my goodness. She obviously doesn't care about her child. She showed up 5 minutes late to an appointment. Let's not act like a lot of us didn't show up late to our appointments too.
obviously apologizing for being late and getting much needed help for Tula, Natalie decides to go home instead and watch TV.
What?
She even belittles the dentist's work by saying she doesn't need their help, and Tula wouldn't listen anyway.
Tula hasn't gone to
Okay, it depends what show is on. Because there's certain shows that if it's on there, I could commend them for trying to leave that shit. Yes, a child might be important, but Love Island just released a new episode. We're going home. I'm trolling. That's crazy. Because at the end of the day, if you truly care for your child, that has to be your top priority and everything else is secondary.
today's appointment. But Natalie wasn't convinced by it in the first place.
A lesson in how to brush your teeth. Obviously, she's still only 4 and, you know, it's quite difficult to get her to...
You said it's quite difficult to brush your teeth. What excuse was that? I'm sorry. It doesn't take eyesight to realize you just put ointment on a brush and you brush circularly. Why are you acting like she needs like a how-to method on YouTube for her to figure out how to brush her teeth? Oh, she's only like 6 years old. Come on, guys. It's completely normal for her not to know how to brush her teeth. Did you know how to brush your teeth when you were 10? See, that's why there's a misconception of British people teeth. Because y'all don't even want to know how to do it until you're 8. Brushing your teeth is not hard. It is one of the most simple tasks. I feel like it's easier to teach a kid how to properly brush your teeth than use the restroom.
To brush your teeth properly as it is. Never mind do it in circles and brush these this way and that way. They're not interested in brushing the teeth, really. Why would you want to brush your teeth when you can sit downstairs and watch a bit of,
No. This is top 5 dirtiest statements of all time.
you know, Peppa Pig, or do something else, you know?
Well, maybe because your breath is gonna be hot as hell. I don't understand how you could still say that after realizing your child's teeth is black. It's not yellow, it's black.
It's like it's a chore for her.
It's hard to believe what you hear when Natalie talks. Tallulah's teeth are literally rotting out of her mouth, and she's saying that brushing her teeth is too difficult to enforce, so she just lets her watch Peppa Pig on a night. Now, it's not just me.
Okay, now I see why her ass loves this show. It's because her ass is looking like this. You letting her become her idol, gang.
You who are outraged by this, and YouTube commenters felt the exact same, saying the fact that she blamed a thyroid problem and then couldn't be bothered to get her daughter to the dentist on time speaks volumes.
Yes, if she doesn't care that her child is brushing her teeth or learning how to brush her teeth, you expect me to believe her excuse that, oh, it's a thyroid problem? No, bro, like she's obviously neglecting her child by letting her be lazy and feeding her more food. It would have been more believable if you were actually taking steps to take care of your child.
And I have to say, Tallulah's story only gets worse from here, as we see what Natalie buys her and her brother in a weekly shop. It turns out though, the children can't even wait for that to finish, as Natalie gives them food to eat during the shop.
For 29-year-old mum Natalie, one of the biggest tests of her control comes with a
Definitely one of the biggest concerns.
weekly shop.
I gotta get him something to eat quickly, just for while we're going round, so they don't whinge and moan at me. Yeah, you getting one of those?
Soy sauce.
And soy sauce.
What's in that again?
Oh no, do you know how big you have to be to get some sushi from the store and then say, nah, I don't want to eat this, mom. We got to go to the soy sauce section. And then you open up a packet of soy sauce and put it in there. I've heard people opening packages so that they could eat immediately when they do grocery shopping. I've never heard of someone take something and be like, nah, I don't want to eat this right now. You know what? I might have opened this bag of chips, but I actually got to go to the hot sauce section and pour it more so it tastes better. We're getting combination of groceries. This is wild.
Cheese and onion. I reckon it's got a bit of mayonnaise in it or something as well. We're getting apple juice to share. Right, let's go shopping.
As they walk around the shop, it seems like she makes a beeline to the crisps, or the chips if you're American, and gets the biggest possible bag she can, which she admits will only last her around 3 days.
It's gonna get some crisps now, because obviously they're convenient, snacky. See, that'll last me a few days. Well, maybe like most of this week, a 20 pack. But they're on offer at the moment, they're half price.
Here I was thinking that she was talking about the one big bag of chips. I was like, okay, why is the narrator saying 3 days is a lot? They're eating a 20 pack and finishing it in 3 days? Keep in mind, she has 2 children. She don't have no high school children. Kindergarten, elementary school students. And you talking about it's only gonna last 3 days.
So this week, a 20 pack. But they're on offer at the moment, they're half price.
It honestly seems like Natalie has no shame about her laziness, as she constantly talks about how she puts her convenience and snacks over her kids' health. She even claims that she tries every day to make a home-cooked meal, but can't be bothered to cook for 2 hours. But realistically, a healthy meal probably takes like 20 minutes on average. And after Tallulah and her brother have moaned throughout the entire shop after their food ran out, they begged their mother for chocolate. And I honestly think this is something that a lot of parents...
I'd be so surprised when I see people churn super big because I know how my diet looks like. I DoorDash every day, but it's like I never gain weight.
Probably go through with kids begging them for chocolate. And I'm not a parent myself, so I can't really speak from experience. However, it does seem like after they whine for something, that's not the time to give them the treat, as it just reinforces the idea that if they whine, then they get a reward.
I like to just have an easy life. I think everybody likes an easy life. No, you're not, no. Sorry, come on. Sometimes.
You know what I love about the UK? Even though they have distinctive accent away from us, even in their cities, they have different accents from each other. Like you could have someone from Liverpool talking about, I need a mixed chicken, I need a kind of hoch. And then you get niggas like this talking about, no, put back the crisps. And then you get niggas talking about, can you pass me a bowl of water? Everybody in UK has like 5 different accents. It's crazy.
I think to myself, no, I shouldn't give in. You're not having Kinder Eggs. But I do. Go and get a Kinder Egg each, quickly.
Unfortunately, Natalie's easy life is coming at the cost of Tallulah's health, who realistically doesn't really understand that this bad diet is having such a bad effect on her, but it gets revealed at the doctor's visit, which Natalie managed to attend this time. When the doctor, named Monty, asks Natalie about her eating habits and how often she brushes her teeth, Natalie just lies in his face, which Monty sees straight through.
Does she snack quite frequently?
She does snack. I won't say she eats, it's always sweet stuff that she's snacking on. Yeah. But she does like sweet stuff, but I have cut her down.
The funny thing is, right, if most parents and most children know the right answers to the questions you ask them, You say to them, does he eat sweets? Not often. He only has it with a meal. How many times does he brush his teeth a day? Do you think any parent's going to say to me, never? They say, twice. Every parent knows what the right answer is. So of course we have to be a detective.
But these lies are soon exposed when Monty takes a look at Tallulah's teeth, and it's a heartbreaking sight as her mouth is just filled with abscesses and rotten teeth. Tallula even admits that sometimes the pain gets so bad that it wakes her up at night, which honestly should be a wake-up call for Natalie herself. And although Monty says he isn't allowed to blame the parents, it's safe to say the fault falls directly onto Natalie for this. Because Tallula is so young, the effects of her obesity won't be of immediate concern, but just the fact that her daughter has rotten teeth, has an insatiable hunger, and wakes up in pain during the night, or because Natalie, to be blunt, is too lazy to give her the proper care, it's a heartbreaking situation. Now eventually Tallula is taken into surgery to deal with her rotten teeth, and the sight of her daughter
Surgery? It's one thing for the doctor to be like, taking your teeth out. You gotta get surgery? Y'all had to put her through anesthesia, knock her ass out just so you could have a surgery on her teeth? Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, her teeth were messed.
being put to sleep seems to finally trigger something inside Natalie to take accountability for what she's done.
Sadness and guilt all mixed into one. She's my world. It's my choice what I've given her, and the foods and drinks that I've given her is up to me. So it's not her fault, is it? It's my fault. But I'm not gonna cry. I'm just strong.
This is a far cry to her attitude at the beginning of her episode, where she wanted to blame everything and anyone except herself. And this is like Denise's parents, who is older than Tallula so can make her own decisions. However, she isn't exactly being supported by her family, and that has meant she weighs a staggering 224 pounds.
I am 10 years older than you, and you are damn near twice my weight. Wow.
At the age of just 13 years old. I've spoken a bit about the physical effects of a poor diet.
No, that's really sad.
There's obesity and tooth decay, but having an older girl allows us to look at the mental impact of being overweight, and it's heartbreaking to hear at such a young age.
I think my weight affects the way I feel about myself. Most girls like to look really, really, really nice because of the boys. People don't judge you by the way you are, by the way your character is. They judge you by the way you look.
My heart.
Y'all agree with that? To some degree, yes. I definitely do think people judge you by the way you look. But a lot of the times, once they get to know your personality, they don't care about how you look as much. What I'm trying to get at is, of course, they're gonna judge you how you look when you're 13 years old and you're built like queso, gang. You gotta understand, kids are mean. Kids don't have enough life experience for them to realize what they're doing is wrong. I'd like to assume that most kids, when they grow up and become an adult, they become good people. And I'm not trying to say they're right, but I'm just saying, like, the best way, in my opinion, to help bigger people lose weight is not by clowning them. A lot of people would say, yes, bullying works on that situation. I think it's just better to just tell them the real. Just let them know, yo, you're in a bad path. If you keep going down this path, it's gonna lead to health defects that is gonna affect you in the future. You know, it's gonna affect your whole lifestyle. So lock in and just try to be better every day. I think that's much better.
That broke for Denisa. She actually wanted to try, but her parents wouldn't back her up. And this will be proven very soon, as they check her into a bariatric hospital for weight loss surgery, like the ones we see in My 600-Pound Life. Personally, I find it shocking that the parents, while being overweight themselves, are even considering this. They would rather—
Y'all are cool with letting your 13-year-old child go through this liposuction surgery when you know y'all could just get her a gym membership? Now, yes, 224 pounds at that weight is crazy, but let's stop acting like she's wheelchair bound. You can take her ass out and enroll her into physical education. It's not too late. And y'all are thinking about getting her a weight loss surgery. If you want to spend money on a weight loss surgery, you do it first. You do it first.
take the easy way out through surgery, then change up the entire family's eating habits. And that might sound harsh, but there are others who feel the same. It's disgusting that Denise's parents would rather put their 13-year-old girl through life-risking surgery than just change her diet.
And bro, that's gonna affect her. She is a minor.
Obesity isn't because she moved countries or because she's spoiled. It's simply because her parents are terribly overweight and they are passing their bad habits onto their child. Simple as that. My heart is breaking for her. And the doctors agreed too, insisting they actually try a real weight loss diet before going for surgery.
I think we all of us intuitively feel that it's a last resort.
In the first instance, I think we like to try and make sure that we've tried everything from a sort of diet and exercise point of view. Generally, our process is that you have to really try everything we can to help first before going ahead with something like an operation.
So Denisa and her family get put on a strict schedule so that Denisa can avoid having to have this incredibly drastic surgery, and so this 13-year-old girl doesn't have to go through that. However, in literally the 15 minutes after this appointment, her parents have taken her to McDonald's.
I'm sorry, you cannot say you love your child if you're literally taking them to McDonald's when you know they're 300 pounds. Stop! I wouldn't be surprised if they put a life insurance on her and they're doing this to try to get the money. Why are y'all doing this? You didn't even wait the night. 15 minutes. 15. I swear it's like y'all heard one thing in one ear and out the other. Oh my goodness, you know, this is just sad. It's really sad.
15 minutes after leaving the hospital, Denise's parents take her for one last treat.
Yeah. If y'all gonna take her to fast food, why don't y'all take her to like maybe like Chipotle? Maybe like, I don't know, Panera Bread. Like a healthier alternative. Why did it have to be McDonald's?
After this appointment, her parents have taken her to McDonald's.
15 minutes after leaving the hospital, Denise's parents take her for one last treat.
I think this clearly shows the parents' deluded mindset, as they call it one last treat, but clearly they go more often than not, and maybe it's more of a treat for them than Denisa herself. Poor education on weight gain has probably led up to this point, and the incredibly easy access to fast food, of course, has allowed Denisa's weight to skyrocket. Now, the family are also originally from Romania, and found food to be much more accessible in the UK.
In our country, if she asks something,
Okay, if that's what I'm eating, you will see me on the strictest diet possible. What am I looking at? It should be easy to not eat if you're looking at this every night.
I said, sorry, I don't have money to buy it, you know. But here, when we come, food and sweets and, you know, everything you see, you buy it because it's cheaper.
And that's the problem. I feel like much more people would be on healthier diets if things that were cheap were much more accessible. If we could actually buy healthy foods that taste better and that are actually good for you, everyone would have been doing it. But because a Hershey's chocolate bar is like 99 cents, of course I'm gonna take that over 3 apples.
She's coming. Oh, Daddy, can you buy this to me?
Bro, she has the same tooth decay as that girl in the beginning. That's the problem, bro. Y'all gotta stop eating junk food, bro.
Yeah, please. Yeah, and again, I cannot resist.
But honestly, this
You
is
have
just one
to.
of the many excuses that the family employs to explain Denisa's weight gain, and it's hard to watch. Some people have even suggested that this is child abuse, with one YouTube commenter saying that if a child reaches the level of obesity that they need stomach reduction surgery, then it's probably time for Child Protective Services to intervene.
Facts! Yo, bro, I'm gonna let you know right now, especially if your child is extremely young and you control their diet and they have nothing else to do with it. Yes, they can exercise, but you control what they eat because they can't afford it. If they are unhealthy, which could lead to deteriorating health in the future, your child needs CPS. That's a form of abuse as well, because you gotta look out for your child's best interest.
So you can see Denisa's lack of parental care, with her father even saying that he thinks it's pointless to diet.
Denise's father, Virgil, works as a builder. He's come to the conclusion that the surgery will be more effective than their attempts to diet.
Changing your eating style. It's about the power of willing, you know, and we demonstrate that we are not that strong. She tried to lose weight when she was 11. She tried to lose weight when she was 12, but got fatter and fatter. But with the surgery, you don't have to give up of temptations.
Yeah, once you get surgery, you're forever gonna be skinny, buddy. What do you think surgery's gonna do? Why do you think in my 600-pound life, they have them go through diet before they go through surgery? Because they know at the end of the day, the surgery is gonna do nothing for you if you mentally are not changing up your habits. She's gonna go through the surgery and she's still gonna be obese with the surgery. So nothing is gonna change. All that's gonna happen is she's gonna shrink temporarily.
You eat whatever you want, but only in a smaller amount, much more smaller amount.
Denisa's episode ends on a pretty tragic note too, with the fact that Denisa is now showing signs of diabetes and her family are now pushing even harder for weight loss surgery. And honestly, after watching both of these episodes and looking at the effects, the excuses and more, I do want to come back to the question in the beginning and look at who is to blame for these obese children. And at the end of the day, I think it's clearly the parents' fault that the children are in this situation.
I think it's a 80-20.
There's a little bit more to it than that. A lot of the people featured on this show are from low income households, which is just a whole other stress added to life. And I do understand cooking can feel like a massive task at the end of a stressful day, so to some degree it is understandable they turn for fast food. However, the levels these parents have allowed their bad habits to go is frankly disgusting. And look,
I definitely think it depends on the age of the child, of how much blame you put on the parents. Like if they're 16 years old and they're very obese, you can't put as much blame as to the parents as to an obese 2-year-old, because the parent is controlling your every move.
looking at how it's affected their children is genuinely heartbreaking. Now, if you want to see another no-nonsense UK weight loss show, to see my video about those who swear they don't eat much until they get exposed by hidden
W video, man. Anyways, YouTube, how much blame do you think the parents get versus the children? Do y'all think CPS should intervene? Let me know what y'all think about this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, bro, to 900K. Join us on Twitch, all that good stuff, man. Rockstar for life. Love y'all, and peace.